place in the Big Ten. Well, there's a top 5 college basketball team that resides in the Chicagoland area. It's Triton College, ranked 3rd in Division II JUCO. Now, the Trojans roster is made up of 15 players, each with his own story, but freshman guard Matt Johnson's story is especially unique. Each day at Triton College in River Grove, Steve Christensen holds practice, and practice is paying off. The Trojans have won 24 of 25 games this season. The reason for that overwhelming success? Christensen points to one player, Matt Johnson.
Our win total, that's directly tied to him making winning plays, guarding the basketball, getting the ball, like I said, to the right people, making free throws, clutch plays, handling pressure. We wouldn't be here without him.
And if it wasn't for the incredible generosity of 2 families, Johnson wouldn't be here either.
Not too many people can afford to bring in a teenage kid who's going to eat all their food and all that other stuff, extracurricular activities. And so I'm so thankful and blessed to know that there are beautiful people like that in this world.
5 years ago, the point guard lived with his mom, Toni Renee, and sister Liren in Batavia. But in early 2012, doctors diagnosed Toni Renee with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Johnson's world was shattered.
Her just getting sick broke my heart. Seeing a tough lady like that be hurt was sad, but I never thought she was going to pass because she was the toughest person I knew. So at that young age, I guess I just didn't believe she could pass.
8 months later, she did pass. At 15 years old, Johnson lost his mom.
She was my best friend, so everybody knew that I was always with her.
Johnson moved in with his dad in Buffalo Grove, but he says they didn't connect. Suddenly, as a sophomore at Stevenson High School, he was looking for somewhere to live. That's when the Green family stepped in.
I had all my stuff in my car, and she was just like, well, why do you have all this junk in your car? So put it in my house. So I just, one day, just put it in her house and just started staying over there. It wasn't even like a planned, arranged thing. I just was moved in.
For 2 years, Johnson lived happily with Sandy and her children, Cameron and Haley. As a senior, he started on Stevenson's state championship team. But when high school ended and Sandy took a job in Atlanta, Johnson once again didn't have a home. This time, the Newmans took action.
I remember my husband calling me that day and telling me what was happening. We were both going, oh my gosh. And he said, I'm going to call Matt. He said, I'm going to contact him and tell him he's welcome to live in our home. And he said, are you good with that? And I said, absolutely.
Mr. Newman, he said, hey, where are you living? You should come live with us. I was like, that sounds great.
Since May, Johnson has called the Newmans' house his home. Christy cooks for him just as she does her 2 boys, Jordan and Mitchell, and she and husband Jack attend his games. With his sister living outside the country, Johnson has no blood relatives he can turn to nearby. But that doesn't mean he can't turn to family.
I consider them family. I consider the Greens my family. Jordan Newman, who's their son, he's my brother. Cameron and Haley Green, they're my brother and sister. So we call each other that, and I treat them just like it, and they treat me like that. So it's great.
Life is great for the Trojans freshman. He has a place to live, people who care about him, and a starting role on a team chasing a national championship. And he's achieved it all clinging tightly to the memory of his beloved mom.
My mother was the toughest lady I've ever met, and I would like to think she instilled that in me. And so those tough times I went through, everybody goes through them. I just happened to go through them earlier.
I never had the pleasure of meeting his mother or knowing his mother, but I can only tell you she must have been one of the most wonderful people on earth to have raised him.
She handled everything with grace, and everything I go through, I think, what would she do? So I would like to think she'd be happy.
No doubt she would.